Hi everyone, my name is Refried Bean, and I'm going to read some poems from my new collection. Actually, it's not a new collection, but a recent collection called The Forgiveness Flag. And I wanted to introduce myself. I live in New York City, but I grew up in Greenville. I lived there for most of my life, and I worked at Barnes & Noble for 12 years. And I'm going to read some poems. This one is called Some People Must Stay Alive. We need some people to live to tell, to eat some ice cream and all be well, to pass the torch and plant a tree, so I keep going in case that's me. Another animals as bosses in heaven poem. What if in heaven animals have jobs and your boss turns out to be the guinea pig from your childhood? Potato cult. What is more narcissistic than volunteering at the food pantry to try to secure a reward in heaven? Well, people say maybe you could volunteer so people have food. This is when I repeat that in a mimicking voice. Maybe you could volunteer so people will have food. And I think the real question is whether I get a reward for that, for the mimic. Because what is a more pure motive than wanting to snap at everyone? And what is a more pure motive than baking or taking, turning and earning, cooking or cooking, or stealing muffins when you have food at home? You thought God said you were immoral, but he said immortal. Indeed, Christ is risen, and when people steal our cell phones, we should burst into song, singing, some say love it is a flower that first begins to bloom. Some say love it is a burger with fries and a peanut butter shake. Why are there maggots in the guinea pig cage? I can't say that I don't know, but some sure say they wouldn't want to show. Do you know what I mean? No, but in heaven, the stones on the grid will be shining. Tour of the universe. You may not know what to think if you find out on Judgment Day that you owe everyone who ever lived an individual apology. But then when you arrive at each house to tell them you're sorry, every single person gives you a fruit spritzer with a bag of jelly drops and caramel cream crumpets. Victory. The people who look at me and say, I can do better than that, the ones who see me not do so great, the ones who say, I won't make those mistakes, we'll let them do better, but maybe the prize is guinea pigs, and maybe I don't want 5,000 guinea pigs, maybe I only want 3 guinea pigs, and I will name them Pancake, Janine, and Forgiveness. This really happened. The IRS says I owe them $140. My mom had to give me the money. I am running out of money, but I can still sit in a chair and be happy. I can still write a poem and stare out the window. I see a lightning bug caught in a web. He is struggling, but I go outside and use my debit card to set him free. A sudden mystery. I'm gonna throw a whole pizza on the subway track someday, ain't I? For the rats, for the sweet little friend rats looking for something yummy. Well, they will find it. In the name of Jesus Christ, there will be some pizza for this civilization, for this time and the dawn of happenstance. Also, I'm going to invent a bicycle with a boulder that drags along the ground when you pedal. No one will understand, and yet won't everyone know exactly what's going on? People will say, yes, this is how it is. People will say, yes, everything is like this. Except some people will say, wait a minute, something that's different from this is a regular bike without the boulder. Some people won't worry about it, and they'll order a piece of strawberry cheesecake. By now, you've probably guessed the town. It is New York City. Of course it is, and you have won the ice capade. Scene. When I get to heaven, I'm going to start a group called the Bandits of McGillicuddy, and we're going to go around stealing everyone's stuff even though it's heaven. It's going to be pretty funny and kind of like stealing Bibles, except it's going to be things like TVs and games and cake that we get from breaking into them. I'm going to skip that poem. I just think that's too many long poems. If I ever don't know what to say. Maybe I could just ask people if they're going to the picnic. And they'll say, what picnic? And I'll say, I don't know. Train poem. If I made a fool of myself in the train station, maybe it was because the train did not arrive on time and I got bored. So now who is the one singing in strangers' faces and doing a hop, skip, and a jump while hitting themselves? The turning ace of Skylight. Pistachios are too much work, said Amanda. Well, so is a job, and yet you don't see me living in a recliner store. I'm not the one who decided to combine Judgment Day with the game shows of the 80s. It is simply part of God's plan for salvation. People say, please don't say stuff like that. Well, I say, please don't reach over and press the buzzer before I have prepared my answer to the question about whether rocks are alive. Ding, 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 dang, ding, 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 ding for the Orbit King. You say you want a rabbit pet. You say you want to hire a vet. You say that no one knows just yet, but that is why you've won the bet. Congratulations. Ice cream point. What if people called you a fraud when you were eating ice cream? Like if they said, you don't really like ice cream and you're just pretending to eat it. We want cash. If all 7 billion people in the world all together started chanting, we want cash, do you think God would be mad because of how demanding we all were? Or do you think he would be proud of us for working together? This really did happen to you. What if you had a pet guinea pig named Roger, and when you left your apartment, he was sitting in the cage, but then later you got on the subway and he was sitting in one of the seats? That would be crazy. I think they should make a movie like that, where it's kind of like a normal movie about something else, but for a few minutes, it's actually about a mysterious guinea pig incident, just like what happened to you with Roger. Afternoon. Even without a watch, I can always tell when it's 2 p.m. by the way I haven't gotten anything done yet. A phone call. If I ever go to jail, I'm going to use my one phone call to call the jail and tell them that I think people in jail should get one phone call and a deck of cards. Well, what have we here? What if you decided to be sarcastic for the rest of your life, saying everything with a cynical sneer, even working all your jobs as a joke? Reading everything aloud with a smirk, like newspapers and menus. Surprise, surprise, it's crispy breaded chicken tenders with a side of creamy Dijon, like no one could have guessed. I love you. Behold the magic roofaloo. Angel battles probably have some stuff that Earth battles don't have so far, like rainbow beam attacks and light bright force fields with portals to other dimensions where more armies flood in and zap the demons with fire and lightning blazes. But I'm guessing that when things get really crazy and all seems lost, that's when the angels decide to dispatch the magic roofaloo, who is a giant, soft, bumbling, friendly monster that serves all the hungry hosts and their bloodthirsty enemies never-ending plates of peanut butter cookies that are so irresistible that evaporation, eradication, and repentance is guaranteed. And anyone in any of the realms who tries any of the cookies with the special juice that the angels share from their canteens can't help but just pack it up, go home, and turn on the game shows from the 80s, which no one realized had the everlasting blessings assortment, all included for the nations, with every dollar won on the shows, and with every spin of the wheel, so that when all is said and done, and before anyone can turn around and say walla walla ding dang, a new mystery planet forms with an ever-evolving breakfast buffet wrapping itself around the entire equator for anyone in the universe to come try the new menu, which could feature some peanut butter cookies or could just be some appetizers with a bowl of punch and prophecy. What if in a mental hospital, patients filled out check-in sheets every day, rating their moods on a scale of 1 to 10, and then a therapist who was a schizophrenic math genius retired after 30 years and revealed that he was so good at therapy he had decided what everyone's mood would be ahead of time and made them feel how they felt on purpose. And if you put all his patients' check-in sheets in order, their ratings matched the first 10,000 digits of pi. What if there was a hypothetical shock collar that shocked you whenever anyone did something bad that you also would have done? This poem is called Jingle Bell, Jing Jang, Jangle Bell. Some people get mad when you tell them something religious because they know you would trade their friendship for a pocket full of jangles. But what they don't know is that the jangles loop back around to the days of old where your real self is waiting for them, past the pool of 1,000 sorrows, holding the keys to a super bus with a buffet and a couch full of their best people. Love is not rude. All y'all's little religion problems are going to dissolve into the lemon part of the lemon meringue pie that either the Catholics or the evangelicals bake and bring to the Presbyterian supper that wasn't supposed to be a contest but did turn out that way because of the email that promised $30,000 instead of salvation. The tuition of discipleship. Sometimes when you're working on an important Christian project like staying alive, something's got to give. You just can't do everything. And for me, the first thing to go will have to be my righteousness, and then my character and good deeds, and all my faith and values. And then what will be left but my bloody heart on a stick on sale at Buy Low in the candy apple section? You have food on your face and your shoes smell like dead mice. That is what I say to myself in the Taco Bell line, even though it is not me I should be mad at, but the cashier who pretended to have an open register and then stepped away when I went up to order. But I started thinking about how as much as people can put on a play, reality can be unreal. And I should not go by what people do and say, but by the prayers of the imaginary animals who keep me company. They are the ones who probably have the last word, or at least next to the last word before I get my report card on Judgment Day, which won't seem so great at first until I notice that among all the D minuses is a score of 4,905 on one certain quiz that only had a scale of 100. But somehow I said something that reminded the teacher of the time when he played basketball with the planets and made a billion three-pointers, all without the people on the planets even knowing that they were being tossed through nebula rings, and many not even realizing that their imaginary rabbits were planning a surprise for them after they left Taco Bell with some mad feelings and discovered in their heart a Christmas prayer so sincere that Santa Claus, Jesus Christ, and E.T. decided to open an arcade together in space and call it "Why Was That Cashier So Mean?" Poem. On Judgment Day, in front of everyone, I'm going to tell Jesus Christ that I'm the person who invented trains. People will be looking on and they'll be like, wow. And Jesus will probably say, well done. But most everyone won't realize that, of course, I didn't invent trains, and he is just saying my joke was well done. Yawning chasm of fire. God made over 7 billion people, so do you think he won't hesitate to toss the bad ones into a yawning chasm of fire? But he likes people so much that he made 7 billion of them. So do you think he won't hesitate to save the bad ones from the yawning chasm of fire? Betrayal dust. A love so great among friends forever that all our slights and lapses will shine on too as magic glitter, handed to us in crystal vials in some light-filled age to come as we toast each other with wooden mugs of the Underground Council, and drink our favorite potions before taking into lost worlds the fragile glass bottles of sparkling betrayal dust, which is now a special medicine to heal entire civilizations that did not rise or maybe fall to our level of camaraderie. Just maybe one or two more. What if you were in the hospital and it was the neurology unit and they gave you some Jello and it was gray and wrinkled? Hey. Okay. Okay. What's terrible? What's terrible is when you find out that everyone who said, I like you, was talking to your hat. Young adulthood. My 20s were hard for me, and that's why if I find out that someone is 25 years old, I call an ambulance. Game strategy. I think it is fun in strategy games to just take a few turns and then say, okay, I have predicted all the possible moves and I have lost the game. Then they win the game, but who seems smarter? Okay, one more. Just wondering, if you decide to follow Jesus Christ and then at the train station someone is walking in front of you, does that mean they are Jesus Christ? Okay, everyone, that is my poetry reading. Thank you so much.